Shalom everyone. This week's weekly Torah portion is Parashat wa-YEHlekh, Deuteronomy chapter 31. In this week's Parashat we find what is one of the most significant commandments in the entire Torah. Perhaps the most important of the commandments, at least in my personal opinion. Possibly the most important commandment of those commandments that are unique to the land of Israel. And that is the commandment that at the end of the 7-year period of counting toward a Shemitah year, a year of release of debts, when the festival of Sukkot arrives, that's the Feast of Tabernacles, which is one of the 3 pilgrimage holidays that God commanded to the people of Israel, in which they make pilgrimage to the Holy Temple, that at that time, at the end of the 7-year period, that men, women, children, and converts congregate in the temple, and the Torah would be read to the public. This is one of the handful of places in the Torah that skeptics or critics of the Bible and of the Jewish faith point out and say, well, see, this is proof that the Torah that we have today, the law of Moses that we have today, couldn't be the actual Torah that Moses wrote, if he wrote anything at all, because it would take far too long to have any practical reading of the Torah at such a convocation. There are many problems with that claim. One, the text doesn't say that you have to read the entirety of the Torah. All right, so it could be that you just read certain sections, and in fact, this is what the Jewish tradition is, which you can find in the Mishnah and in the Talmud. But it's a fact that the text of the Torah itself doesn't state that you read every single word of the Torah. The same way when it says, and you should speak about these words when you rise up, when you lay down, and when you walk on the way, it doesn't mean that you have to say every single text of the Torah when you wake up. And then again, every single time as you're walking along the way, recite the entire Torah, and then every single night before you go to sleep, read the entire Torah. That's absurd, and that's a massive assumption. Furthermore, it doesn't state that the text of the Torah, the straightforward text of the Torah in Deuteronomy chapter 31, does not state all the details of how this reading would be done. It just simply says it's on the feast of Sukkot. So this could have been a reading of the Torah that is stretched out over many days if we disregard Jewish tradition and are just going with a purely speculative approach. But for whoever would like to know more about this very beautiful and meaningful commandment of God, which is essential to maintaining the national unity and identity of the people of Israel. If you would like to know what Jewish tradition says about it, you can find a good summary of it in the Mishneh Torah of the Rambam, the Rambam's codification of Jewish law, in Sefer Korbanot, that's the book of sacrifices, in the laws of Hagigah, the pilgrimage festivals, and there you'll find it in chapter 3. So on that note, I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbat and a Hag Sameach for all those who will be celebrating the Hag Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles, according to God's commandment to the people of Israel. Birkat Hashem Aleichem, God's blessings be upon you. Shalom uvracha.